Where are you from? Sounds like an easy question, right? But to a third culture kid, it can actually become one of the most difficult questions out there. A third culture kid, or TCK, is essentially defined as an individual who spent their formative years outside of their parents' homeland. And while that may sound a little complicated, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't get any easier. Some of you may be thinking, well, you say you're Indian, then you say you're Malaysian, and then you throw in an American accent. To which I say, no, it's an international schools accent. What many TCKs will tell you is that mistaken identity is all too common. And it's because, believe it or not, we're not British, nor are we American. But that's because we grow up in American or British international schools, a point that I'll touch back upon shortly. I think one of the earliest memories I have of Malaysia was when I was dressed in a baju kurung, a traditional Malay garment during the festival of Hari Raya. I remember my school had set up small stalls so that the students could interact and learn more about the culture that we were already neck deep into. I would love if I could transport you all to the vibrant landscapes of Malaysia, a true melting pot of cultures, traditions, and languages. Every street offered a glimpse into a new cultural scene, from bustling markets to serene temples, and growing up there was akin to navigating a kaleidoscope of experiences. I remember trying foods that I couldn't even pronounce, dancing to rhythms I didn't even know, and making friends from every corner of the globe. It was a whirlwind of experiences that opened my eyes to the beauty of cultural diversity. Education for TCKs is a whole nother ballgame. On one hand, we get a diverse educational background that's second to none. And on the other, we struggle with academic continuity, cultural adaptation, and jumping from one curriculum to another like it's a game of hopscotch. And while that may sound amazing, it's not. And it presents many challenges. And when we come back to our home countries, we're often forced to engage in conversations where we either feel misunderstood or left out. At the International School of Kuala Lumpur, my school, I had experienced many different things. And I was known as the Indian kid. And when I came back to India, I became the foreigner? Well, and if no one ever said it to my face, I felt like one too. Coming back to India was like navigating a journey of trying to rediscover who I was with the place I once called home. It's a rediscovery of the person who you are and in a world that's moving on without you. Constant uprooting and resettling creates a profound challenge for TCKs, and attachment becomes a luxury we just can't afford. I remember when I came back to India, my aunt would encourage me to engage in different cultural activities that were so common here, almost as if it were a test to prove that I belonged. I regret to inform you that I failed those tests because it wasn't something I knew and it wasn't something I understood. As a TCK, our parents often tell us we're not outsiders. But the minute we begin to show any signs of our upbringing, we are. Uprooting, cultural confusion, loneliness. I guess they're all part and parcel of the TCK experience. While it's beautiful to be different, we're often told and reminded that there are only two sides to a coin. And it's like being in between two worlds, where there's a little voice at the back of your head saying you'll never really belong to either one. It's like navigating or solving a puzzle without the picture to guide you. Identity is a strange concept to TCKs, and it's because of our upbringing. And we often find ourselves in between two worlds, as I mentioned. It's very strange, I think. We're often told and reminded that, once again, we're not the same, because we grow up in between and straddling multiple cultures, and we learn to adapt and blend in because we feel as if we'll never really belong in the first place. We become cultural chameleons in a world of constant change. The older I got, the more things I had to say, and the more opinions I had to express. Thus, as a TCK, I wanted nothing more than my parents to realize I grew up very differently. And although it's a little hard at times, it is important for families to realize that their children are never going to be either or. Well, sometimes we often forget that our parents truly deserve a pat on the back and a gold star. We navigate through many disagreements every day, but at the end of the day, our parents are the ones who hold down the fort and who provide stability in a world full of chaos. They're the ones who teach us to embrace ourselves and to navigate a whirlwind and murky waters that is identity formation. It's thanks to them that we emerge more resilient, stronger, and more adaptable than ever before. Believe me, raising a kid is tough, but raising one that looks like you and acts completely different, that's a new challenge entirely. Speaking of resilience, it's what we do best. TCKs are like Swiss Army knives in the global village, ready to tackle on any challenge that comes our way. Moving to a new country? Easy peasy. Learning a new language? No problem. Making friends with complete strangers? That's what we do best. And it's thanks to our nomadic upbringing. It's like we've been preparing for life's hurdles since day one. But, you know what they say, all good things must come to an end. And unfortunately for TCKs, that means saying goodbye to friends that we've known forever. I remember growing up in Malaysia, every year, I watched new friends that I'd made move away. And I wondered if I would ever see them again. More often than not, the answer is unfortunately no. And it's very characteristic for TCKs to move every 3 years, which to a second grader is absolutely terrifying. Much like moving to any new country, which naturally is a very horrific experience for some of us, it is important to acknowledge the fact that there is a little solace in the fact that it's a fresh start, which is more than we can say for those who are left behind and who find it equally as tough. I often find myself scrolling through Instagram and seeing pictures that my old friends post of their new countries and new schools. And I find myself reminiscing. Technology surely helps bridge the gap, there's no doubt. But it can't replace the shared memories that we have together. As a TCK, I don't know what it's like to grow up in the same place my whole life, or to have significant friends that I've known forever. While it might not sound like it, being a TCK does have its perks. We're the ones who strengthen cross-border connections, who make leaps and bounds with cultural connection and break down stereotypes. We're like ambassadors of cross-cultural understanding, and peacemakers in a world divided. It's thanks to our shared experiences that we're able to create a more inclusive and harmonious society. But we can't do it alone. We need support networks and groups where we can truly interact with students and friends who share similar experiences to us. Kind of like finding a home away from home, if we can figure out what home is in the first place. It's about finding a place where we belong, a place where we're understood, and a place where we can contribute positively to society. Resilience and diversity, let's be real, it's what we do best. It's who we are and what enriches our lives. Instead of idolizing and isolating, it's important that we embrace and respect the richness that we bring to our communities, the richness in our experiences, and the contributions we make to a global community. And to my fellow TCKs out there, remember this: you are not alone. Find strength in connecting with those who share similar experiences to you, and wear your identity as a badge of honor. Resilience and adaptability are your superpowers. Find and nurture relationships, both old and new, and remember to pursue your passions, for within them lies the very essence of who you are. Together, let us navigate this intricate tapestry of identity with courage, compassion, and an unwavering belief in the strength of our shared experiences. By acknowledging the strengths and hurdles faced by TCKs, we not only pave the way for a more inclusive society, but we also learn to not just tolerate diversity, but to truly celebrate it. And thus, we empower individuals, not just to survive, but to truly flourish. Thank you.